Hello everybody, it's Bourbon Bill, and tonight, a very special episode focused on budget-conscious hitters that whiskey lovers everywhere would like to drink, and just what's potentially out there that makes you seem smart with your money and your palate. Got the idea for this because I got a single barrel that we're going to review tonight by itself and then compare to some hitters in the $60 to $75 hair range that have age and they have proof. Two things you don't typically find in that range anymore. This is 2024, for God's sake. Inflation's running rampant. You can't buy a cardboard box for 20 bucks these days, okay? So what? Bourbon's too expensive. Heaven Hill's selling 6-year-old crap for $100 called grain to glass. Wild Turkey's charging $300 for a 10-year rye. I mean, people are nuts in 2024 with inflation and bourbon and ryes. But there is some glimmer of hope if you're sharp-eyed and you follow this channel, okay? Now, tonight's about bourbon. It ain't about rye, because if we were talking about values in rye, that'd be a whole different video, which we may make. This is values of bourbon and the return of high-aged, high-value MGP. Dun dun dun. First time featured on this channel. It's Copper Sky Distillery from Colorado, the Mountain High Club, if you will. Longmont, Colorado. Never been there. Been to Denver, not Longmont. Gotta say that. This was a store pick. Thank you, Patrick. You know who you are for helping me get this. Limited release at the distillery. They may still have some of these at the distillery, so I'll try to get this video out in a timely manner. Maybe it's not that timely by the time it comes out. Sorry, whatever. This was called the Old and Older. Don't know why. That's what they did. It was a distillery single barrel release, and that's the key here. Most of the value in 2024 was in killer single barrels, and you had to keep your eyes peeled and your nose to the grindstone to find them. But this is, I hope you're sitting down, please sit down. This is going to be very shocking to a lot of those here in 2024. 11-and-a-half-year-old MGP bourbon. 11-and-a-half-year-old MGP bourbon. I hope that sunk into you. The 36% rye mash bill. Proof, 117. Compute, 58.5% alcohol by volume. 4, you ready for this? MSRP, $74.99. $75 hairs. Are you shitting me? In 2024, that is a killer value. There is not really high-aged MGP anymore. All right, you want to know how good is it, Bourbon Bill? How good is color? It's fairly decent. Fairly decent color. It's medium in color. It's not super dark, but it ain't light. It ain't light. Go ahead and look at that. Look at the color on that bad boy. She's a good color. On the nose. Oh man, it's just like that traditional caramel and oak. Oh, it's just so traditional MGP, 36% rye mash bill. It's like heaven in a glass. It's caramel, it's leather, it's oak. It's smooth smelling. Smells thick and smooth, if that's a thing. Down the hatch. Like liquid silk. Like liquid silk going down. It's fairly straightforward. It's caramel, it's leather, it's a little bit of oak. There's a faint hint of red berries at the end, but boy, is that good. Boy, is that good. Feels nice and oily. A++, must buy. $75 hairs, you gotta buy it, you gotta. Now, this is such a steal because MGP's stupid. They really are. They're so stupid. they sell off these fantastic barrels, right? 11.5-year-old bourbon. They just sell it off. And then they go and put lesser shit in their own labels. I mean, you got to be a dumbass to do that. You'd make more money selling it yourself than you would to wholesaling it. I don't get why they do that. So, quick comparison. We're going to compare this to, I'm milking this. Remus 5 from 2021. The greatest Remus to date. There it is. Now, it's only 100 proof, but this was a 13 to 16-year-old blend in 2021. Pretty cool. Considered it was really delicious. One of the best things ever. Should have bought a ton of them. They were like $89, $99, $90 hairs, MSRP, something like that. Maybe it was $80. It was a really good price back then in 2021. Now, I'll try to find a picture. In 2024, okay, hold on. In 2024, Remus is releasing Remus 8. Okay, 6 and 7, dog shit. Wouldn't buy them. They're young. Wouldn't buy it. In 2024, they're releasing Remus 8, which is 91% a 10-year. Okay, that's nice. That's nice. And 9% to 17 years. Gone older, finally, for 2024. They've gone older, 10 to 17, but mostly 10-year, right? At 101 proof, they upped at 1 proof. It's like, okay, and what's the MSRP going to be on that? $100, $120 hairs? $74.99, and it's all 11.5. 100% 11.5. At 117 proof. It's like, come on, Remus. Now, again, haven't tried the 2024. Maybe it'll be good. 6 and 7 were absolute trash for the value, compared to 5 here. And then, what else did Remus, MGP release in 2024? They released the Babe Ruth. It was like a 6 to 7-year-old blend for like $150. It's like he's smoking crack. $150 hairs for 6 to 7-year-old bourbon. That's what you release as a special edition when you're selling off barrels that are 11.5 years old. It just angers me, right? That the stupidity. But whatever. I digress. This is an absolute buy. You should pick this up. Quick comparison to the great of all time, Remus 5. In the mini, oh, this is better. Remus 5's got this like orange, heavy oak, marmalade note. Oh, it's like a cherry candy. Oh. Remus 5, still the king, baby. This drink's so old. Now, this was a blend of 2 36% rye mash bills and 3 21% rye mash bills. So, it was a blend of both mash bills. Back to the Copper Sky. The Copper Sky is not as oak heavy, not as complex, but way thicker and smoother on the mouthfeel, like liquid silk, baby. Also cheaper than Remus 5 was in 2021. Just putting it out there. Longer finish. I like the flavors of the Remus better, but there's a lot of positives about this here in 2024, right, over the Remus 5 actually. So that was my little rant about MGP. Just they don't give their own house brands enough love. It's too stupid. But we're going to compare this Copper Sky to a couple other hitters of the same age range and the same price category. They are, dun dun dun, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof B524, 11-year, 2-month, 130.6 proof, compute, 65.3% alcohol by volume. MSRP in 2024, about $70 hairs. Well, I don't know if it was 70 or 75, whatever. Really close. 11.5, 11.2. Roughly the same price. Way higher proof though. Heaven Hill. That's bottle number 2. In our comparison tonight. And then the last one. We're back to the single barrels, folks. It's Knob Creek. You can't handle proof. Drug City store pick. 11-year. And like 5 days. 120 proof. It's a little bit younger, but you know what the price on this one was? $60 hairs. $59.99. So the cheapest of the bunch. That will be glass 3. So I'll put these up here in order. You can visually see them back here, hopefully. If they're not off camera. If they are, sorry, this ain't a professional setup. Just so you know, any super chats really help the channel. Joining Patreon really helps the channel. Ad revenue doesn't really cut it. You know, a monthly ad revenue check from YouTube doesn't even, barely covers one of these cheaper bottles. Okay, and we cover a lot of much more expensive bottles on this channel. So, we really do it for the love of the channel. But any little monetary does help. Keeps Rita off my back about spending money on bourbon. Keep that in mind. Alright, glass 2, which is our Heaven Hill. Gosh, so much red fruit. A little bit nuttier, we'll say that. The oak's just turned up a notch. Down the hatch. Oh. Golly, that's good. Oh. If you don't like nuts, though, that ain't gonna be for you, but man, that's good. Peanut brittle, nuttiness, lot of oak. Lot of caramel. To the copper sky now. Think of that devoid of all nuttiness. Okay? Oh, I gotta say. The oak's not as pronounced, but it's like a richer tobacco leather type oak on the copper sky. And it's the smoother, thicker mouthfeel, even though it's less proof. That's really enticing compared to the Elijah Craig. On to one of my favorite distilleries, the old Knob Creek. You can't handle proof at 120. Oh, I can handle it. We just handled 130. On the nose. Oh, smells like home, you know? Just brown sugar, oak, caramel. It's all here. All the comforts of Grammy's cooking. God, I just do. I mean, Knob Creek is just my jam, you know? Down the hatch. Oh, son of a bitch. Oh. How do you pick between your children, you know? Oh, man. Gosh, I'm partial to that knob. I really am. That's a killer store pick, Drug City. You did good. All these A+++ buys. I mean, absolutely buys. Couldn't come up with a winner, but I did get a 3rd place. Okay, out of these 3, last place, Elijah Craig B524. Really love this one. Nothing against it. It's findable for a lot of people, and it's not a single barrel. So probably it wins in findability plus value. We'll say that. 3rd place for me tonight. I was torn between these 2 for 1st and 2nd. I couldn't really pick a winner. And I mean, come on. This is a 2023 11-year Knob Creek store pick. I haven't seen another 11-year Knob Creek store pick at all. Haven't seen a review of one. Haven't seen one in person. I think this one was a rare gem. Gotta say. I mean, you can't not jump at an 11.5-year MGP bourbon for $74.99. You just can't. I haven't seen it elsewhere in 2024 either. So these are probably fairly limited, but these are hitters. My point is, you gotta check some of these NDPs, right? They're getting legacy distillery stuff for killer prices, okay? And killer ages. When was the last time you saw 11.5-year MGP? I'll tell you when. Last time you saw MGP older than this was in Remus 5 in 2021, 3 years ago. Hate to say it, that was the last time you saw old MGP. Now, old MGP is making a comeback in 2024, not only in bourbon here. This is the first bourbon one I've seen, but in the ryes. You know, we did a review of the short barrel a 12-year MGP barrel proof rye. Holy shit. And River Roots is coming out with 11.5-year, 11-year, 12-year-old MGP barrel proof ryes as well. You gotta look at the NDPs, folks. You gotta look at them, because that's where it's coming from. The legacy distilleries, under their own labels, just slacking in 2024. Don't know why, but they're selling off their better stuff. They really are. So, what did we learn tonight? I don't know. This isn't really a teaching channel, if you will, but we learned that there's really good values and high ages available if you're willing to look for it. So if you liked what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe, and consider joining our Patreon. Helps us buy this stuff without Rita complaining, "You're spending too much money on bourbon, Bourbon Bill." No, I'm not. Look at these values, Rita. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you again. Have a great evening, everybody.